My name is Abe, and I'm a chef. A prodigy, some say, but my palate is dead. Every dish I create, every masterpiece, tastes like ash or cold iron to me. It's a curse, a cruel joke on someone who lives for flavor. I travel across countless universes, not for fame or glory, but for a single recipe. One that promises to break this curse, to let me taste the world again. I just want to feel human, to savor a simple meal without this metallic ghost haunting my tongue. My worn ladle is my only constant companion. The air here hums with a faint, crystalline chime, like tiny ice bells ringing in a gentle breeze. I can almost taste the sharp, clean tang of ozone mixed with something sweet, a floral note I can't quite place. It's like stepping into a cosmic pantry, every gust of wind a new spice. My chef sense tingles, mapping the invisible currents, the subtle shifts in temperature. This universe feels like a delicate, perfectly balanced souffle, ready to collapse with one wrong move. I grip my heat-stained apron, ready to dive into its secrets. The ground beneath my boots crunched like compacted sugar crystals, a delicate musical sound. Crystalline stalactites dripped luminescent nectar into pools of melted snow. The air smelled of spun sugar and sharp, frozen mint, a confectioner's dream. Translucent flowers with glass-like petals grew from cracks in the sugary earth. They pulsed with an internal light, begging to be brewed. My worn ladle felt heavy, an anchor in this fantastical realm. Could these be the fabled glass petals promising unique clarity? I imagined the infusion, light catching the liquid, a visual feast for anyone but me. Even if it tasted like iron, its potential for others was immense. I knelt, carefully plucking a glowing petal, cool and smooth against my fingers. Brewing something so ethereal made my chef's heart ache. Perhaps this brew was the path to finally tasting again. The air around the translucent flowers shimmered with an almost imperceptible heat, a gentle warmth that belied the icy landscape. I held the plucked glass petal, its surface cool but radiating a faint internal glow. My chef's intuition, honed by countless culinary dimensions, began to trace invisible currents. I noticed a delicate condensation pattern on a nearby sugar crystal stalagmite. It wasn't just melted snow, it was a specific kind of vapor, leaving behind a subtle, sweet mineral residue. This residue hinted at a precise temperature, a perfect thermal signature for infusion. I ran a finger along the residue, tasting nothing but the familiar iron, yet my mind mapped the flavor profile. The ground beneath the flowers felt slightly warmer, a subtle geothermal vent perhaps. This wasn't just about brewing, it was about coaxing out the essence. My worn ladle, usually for stirring, felt like a divining rod in my hand. It vibrated faintly with the ambient energy. The clue was in the subtle alchemy of this place. The flowers needed a specific, gentle heat, not boiling, to release their clarity. The cavern air vibrated with a low, resonant hum, like 1,000 crystal bowls singing in unison. My breath plumed in the frigid expanse, illuminated by the soft, internal glow of the ice walls. Ahead, a colossal, ancient crystal spire pulsed with a gentle, rhythmic light, its surface weeping streams of pure, melted snow. This was the source, the heart of this glacial garden. Around its base, the translucent flowers shimmered, delicate and ethereal. A faint, sweet mineral scent, almost imperceptible, wafted from the spire, a silent invitation. I approached slowly, my worn ladle held not as a weapon, but as an offering of respect. This wasn't a beast to be fought, but a living ecosystem to be understood. My chef's intuition told me the spire wasn't hostile, merely protective of its crystalline children. I observed the flow of the melted snow, tracing its path to the roots of the glass petals. To harvest, I needed to ask permission, not take by force. I extended a hand, palm open, towards a cluster of flowers, feeling the subtle energy shift. A tiny droplet of melted snow, pure and shimmering, landed on my apron. I tasted it, expecting the familiar iron, and was not disappointed. But the potential, the magic, was still there, waiting. I gently cupped a hand, collecting the pristine, warm meltwater. Then, with a whispered apology, I carefully plucked a single, glowing glass petal. The air still hummed with that ethereal, crystalline song, a melody woven from ice and light. I studied the spire, its rhythmic pulse like a slow, ancient heart. My chef's mind wasn't just seeing a rock formation. It was analyzing a living ingredient. The melted snow flowed, nourishing the translucent flowers at its base. I noticed a subtle shift in the spire's glow, a momentary flicker that coincided with a deeper resonance in its hum. It was a pattern, a breath, a natural cycle of release. This wasn't about force. It was about harmony. I gently tapped my worn ladle against a nearby ice wall, listening to the echo. Then, with a precise, almost musical rhythm, I began to tap the base of the spire itself. Each tap was soft, mimicking the spire's own pulse, seeking that sympathetic vibration. A low thrum resonated through the crystal, a deeper note joining the existing hum. Suddenly, a shower of glass petals, shimmering like fallen stars, detached from the spire and drifted gently to the ground. They landed softly, forming a sparkling carpet around my feet. My curse still clung to my tongue, a familiar metallic ghost. But the beauty of this harvest, achieved through understanding, was a flavor I could almost taste. I carefully gathered the bounty, a silent promise to honor its essence. The crystalline chime of the spire still sang, a delicate, frigid melody. I knelt, reverently gathering the shimmering glass petals into my heat-stained apron. Each petal, a fragment of this universe's ethereal beauty, felt light and cool. I held one up, translucent, perfect, imagining its texture. Would it be crisp like spun sugar, or melt with a clean, refreshing coolness? I closed my eyes, trying to conjure a phantom taste. My mind yearned for subtle sweetness, a pure taste. But the metallic ghost asserted itself, a dull taste of ash and iron. This ethereal ingredient was tainted for me. My worn ladle felt heavy with this bittersweet truth. Still, the magic of these petals filled me with hope. I carefully placed them into a small pouch, a sacred offering. My curse would not defeat my chef's spirit. A crystalline chime intensified as I poured the melted snow. The glass petals shimmered, radiating light. Sweet steam rose, smelling of pure air and delicate magic. I stirred with my worn ladle, watching the petals dissolve into a glowing liquid. This ethereal brew tasted only of ash to my cursed palate. Translucent spire dwellers watched my every move. I took a sip, the metallic ghost asserting its presence. Then I offered the cup to the nearest elder, a gesture of respect. A collective gasp rippled as the elder's hand, touching the cup, shimmered with greater transparency. He understands the delicate balance, a soft voice echoed, like a plucked crystal string. He honors the essence, not just the form. Their gazes held profound admiration for my wisdom. My heat-stained apron felt heavy with their silent gratitude. The crystalline air hummed, guiding my hands. My focus narrowed. Spire dwellers gazes a distant hum. I selected translucent flowers, shimmering like spun light. With a crystal-bladed knife, I trimmed each petal meticulously. Whisper-thin slices fell onto a silver tray. The blade moved with practiced grace, honed by countless worlds. I measured melted snow, perfect drops into an iridescent flask. The flask glowed, warming liquid to exact temperature. My worn ladle stirred water in slow, deliberate circles. I added the glass petals, watching them unfurl and dissolve. A delicate steam, smelling of ozone and sweetness, rose. I timed the infusion precisely, counting seconds, a rhythm ingrained. The liquid swirled, pale blue, settling into shimmering tea. Despite its visual perfection, I knew its taste, metallic ash. My hands moved with master's certainty, a silent rebellion. The crystalline chime intensified as I offered the tea. I poured the shimmering pale blue liquid into a frost-kissed goblet. A veiled spire dweller took a cautious sip. Their eyes widened. A soft gasp escaped their lips. A ripple of awe spread as their skin began to shimmer. Translucence appeared on their hands, like spun glass. The effect spread, turning their body into a transparent shell. I saw internal energies flow, a marvel of light. Memories dance beneath their skin. The spire dweller gazed at transparent hands, then at me, pure wonder. My worn ladle felt heavy, a testament to magic I could not taste. Another perfect creation, its flavor beyond my reach. The phantom taste of ash settled on my tongue, a cruel reminder. I watched their awe, pride warring with sorrow. My gift brought wonder, my palate a desolate wasteland. The crystalline chimes of the spire city faded, replaced by a low, rhythmic thrumming. I watched the spire dweller, a shimmering, transparent marvel, gaze at their hands with wonder. My worn ladle felt cool, a silent testament to magic I created but couldn't taste. Each successful dish brought me closer to breaking my curse. The phantom ash on my tongue felt heavier, a constant, dull ache. I yearned for the taste of anything real, not metallic and bitter. This journey was long, but every universe offered a new clue, a glimmer of hope. I closed my eyes, focusing on the distant thrum, a vibration like an ancient machine. It promised intricate gears and a recipe pulsing with pure energy. My apron, dusted with cosmic frost, felt ready. I just needed to follow that powerful hum.